Scotch whisky is hurting bad just now. Tariffs, COVID-19, Brexit. News just in: Scotch whisky exports US have fallen over £500 million since US tariffs October 2019. That's over a third. Pretty huge, eh? Now, I'm a solutions-focused chap who's seen a lot of action in the US and can think on their feet. So let's drill down on what's important and what can be done. So if you're all set, let's dive in there. Hello, Hendo here, and welcome to How to Sell More Scotch Whisky in the US. In this video, I'll share ways Scotch whisky can react to the US sales slump of 2020. I'll not get into politics. This is about sales and marketing strategy. To learn more about markets, brand marketing, and Scotland from a global perspective, please like this video, subscribe, and check out hendotalks.com for more specific projects and speaker services. US importers and consumers have taken the brunt of £500 million of Scotch whisky tariffs. Scotch whisky has lost 10 years worth of export growth. These are sobering times. Let's start with some context. The US, the busiest marketplace in the world. There's over 100,000 wine brands, 2,000 American distilleries, another 1,500 international distillers in or trying to get in. One contract tequila distillery puts out dozens of brands in the US. There's the bourbon revival, which is huge. You don't appreciate the scale abroad. The Irish whiskey revival, hard seltzers, low and no, the on-premise pandemic decimation, distributor consolidation, duty-free sales going through the floor in airports, and of course 25% tariffs damaging both sides single malt Scotch whisky. This is just some of the landscape we have to consider. Also keep in mind only about a quarter of Scotch is actually Scottish owned, which means boardroom strategy and focus can shift across categories. Corporate accountants culling the very people responsible for bringing in sales. I won't get into the myriad of business strategy, back office systems, logistics, fulfillment, outsourcing, in-house or shared sales forces, and pricing. These are all very important and need reviewed. Accelerated digital transformation, Uber buying Drizzly. There's some sharp pivots going on just now. I can do a ton of videos on this, but for now, this is brand side, how Scotch can react straight away. Number one, release the storytellers, release the hounds, get them out there. I think brand storytelling is number one way Scotch can win. We have the craftsmanship, heritage and quality spirit. Storytelling is our ace card. Storytelling is deep in our culture and sells an emotion. It's primal and yields the biggest results. Zoom is okay, but it's one-dimensional. It needs to be more interactive. Music, pairings, involve all the senses, more creative ways to engage drams at home. Think more like Netflix style watch-alongs. This is no time to be timid, be creative, put resources here. Number two, stop depending on US distributors and importers. Distributors and importers are not brand builders. Show up in market. Way before COVID-19, I was training liquor chains in several states. One in Texas, I was told, in this huge store, they hadn't seen another Scotch brand in over 2 years. I found that astonishing and hardly met other Scotch brands unless I was at a festival. Brands will need to get back on the road when it's possible. Prepare your product and marketing to align your distributor needs. Sounds obvious, doesn't it? But I heard so many frustrations in this area from buyers. Remember, importer sales teams, they'll only match your efforts. They're not going to go beyond. So unless you're pushing, they're not going to entertain it. I saw firsthand in a New York distributor office, super attentive local craft distillers who are very skilled at leveraging, persuading and keeping their brand front of mind in sales teams. I never saw Scotch brands working quite like that anywhere. Brand owners need to be more active. Number three, awards matter. Most brands realise this, but internally some don't. The cost, the effort, but it serves a purpose. Shelf candy is important to customers, retailers, importer sales teams, basically everyone else. So it's only brands that sometimes don't see the value. US consumers are numeric driven, so 90 plus pointer neck tag on the bottle will help deplete stock quicker than some campaigns. You don't see a retailer's sigh of relief from the other side of the pond. Really think about how you can manage rate of sale and reorder strategy in these remote times. Number 4, get smart. On a visit in Texas, I found a local state website which gives you liquor sales by licensed premise, which can be incredibly useful data. But there's a lot of smart data out there. You can have to probe, know your competitors' set, and identify opportunities with so many changes and pivots going on. The landscape has changed in market. It's easier getting that info on the ground, obviously, but importer sales software, CRM, CDP, all can lead to better performances. So commit resources and remap your territories. It's a brave new world. Be smart with what you measure and embrace the data. You can do this remotely from Scotland. Identify, streamline and focus. If you need to, switch out low performing SKUs for high performers. Everything is tied to sales. Number 5, talking about focus, narrow your focus. Focus time, money and resources into your most attractive and responsive accounts. So if it's a dozen or 2 dozen liquor stores, but they buy your brand, limited editions, private barrel programs, these can produce the figures you need for organic growth. Don't waste your precious time. Importers might want to push points of distribution, PODs, more locations. They want your national strategy for growth. But ask yourself, how do you manage this? Cost, time and investment. And how will they manage it? Can they? Be honest with yourselves. What's important here is to go where people want your brand. It's a lot easier doing business that way. There are many success stories on this. I was told the sailor Jerry Madison, Wisconsin's breakthrough story on a work with along the road in Milwaukee, 1 million cases later. When the green shoots appear, water that plant. Number 6, fight where you can win. On-premise has taken such a big hit. If your craft and had good on-premise network, supply the curbside cocktail delivery trade. Direct-to-consumer is opening out. Keep adapting. You can't do work with or in-market blitz just now, or even trade if there's some kind of dispute in the estate. So move your resources elsewhere. Sales is not about activity. Fish where there are fish. Focus on high value accounts and avoid low value. I was taken to a high performing store in Long Island that wouldn't take our brand, any craft brand at the time. Cliff note story. I waited in line. When I got my turn, I asked his pain point. He said he didn't know the Scotch category and didn't have time. I took him straight to his shelves and showed him very quickly, gave him my planogram, a blueprint across the Scotch category to give him confidence. Got listed and sales flew. Our importer sales met our target. Providing confidence and value is key to sales. Number 7, give them what they want. Simple, right? You'd be surprised how many brands don't fully listen. Brand owners can be quite precious about their babies, but when kids go to school, they need to fit in. Same for brands in a way. You can still be an agitator brand or have a truly unique package bottle, but adjust elements to suit their needs. Make sure logistics, supply, rate of sale is on point. Provide quality content and product shots, succinct clear sales sheets, POS and pitches. Find out what retailers are really looking for, what problems does your brand solve for them, and support your importer, help them sell. Number 8, get evangelical or evangelical. After my first tour in the US, I created a Billy Graham plan as a brand advocacy on steroids, based on building fan loyalty and feeding it, just the same way the famous US preacher won hearts and minds back in the day, selling passion, emotion, whip up audiences and have local sales teams ready to serve them. Big up on merch. Probably the best merchandise I saw was at Sagamore Distillery in Baltimore. Perhaps something to do with underarm behind it. But I tested merch sales and brands can go a lot further here. Brand advocacy follows a basic human instinct. We want to support what we love. Give your fans more opportunity to buy in. I sold $10,000 of stock in one Zoom call. Imagine boosting those sales with merch and onboarding advocacy. Number 9, show you care. Adopt a local campaign to show you're in it for the long term. Big companies like Diageo pledged $1 million to the US Bartenders Guild, supporting the bartender community in these hard times. But there can be initiatives at all levels that will gain you respect and trust. Put your brand front of mind. Importers and retailers will back you for your efforts. There's a sense that communities want to come out of this and create a better world. Lastly, just keep on trying new ideas, keep tinkering. I know this might make some senior marketeers uncomfortable. They like a tight ship when it comes to branding, but now is the time to try stuff. You might just hit a sweet spot. Ultimately, keep making quality Scotch whisky and above all, be dynamic. In addition to all the threats Scotch whisky faces in the US, the ace Scotch had was mature stock, but now American craft distillers, who are also reeling badly, are soon coming of age. They're liquid. I realised this speaking with craft distillers after a festival in Houston like Iron Root Republic. They won World's Best Bourbon 2020 and Craft Distiller 2021. Quite incredible for only distilling 6 years. Chatting to mother and son, I was very impressed. They, like others, are inspired by Scotch whisky. Every distiller I met admires Scotch whisky, and now they are becoming their own idols. This is an opportunity to start again, rekindle what it was like starting out, relive the energy, the passion. Scottish craft distillers have this in spades, so go out and know it can be done. You don't need 150-year-old history to make it. So, tell us what you think. How can Scotch whisky do better than the US? I will add more videos on the topic and have many more effective solutions. If you're interested in the US market, contact us at hendotalks.com. As always, welcome your comments. I hope you find this in some way useful, and until next time, thanks very much for watching.